A very good afternoon and welcome to Matchday Live Extra. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me here at St Mary's is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and joining us from home, Mr. Chris Awellamo is here as well. We are building up to a big game in the beautiful late summer sunshine here at St Mary's on this Sunday lunchtime, where hopefully Wolves can continue their decent recent form here, coming from behind in the last two seasons to take home all 3 points. It's one of those occasions, Andy Thompson, where both teams are looking at this thinking, we really need the 3 points. So hopefully both are going to go for it.
Well, you would think so. I think it'll be quite an open game. So Southampton being the home team as well. There's been a few changes by us as well. So look, without doubt, we're desperate for those 3 points. It's going to be a tough afternoon, but there's more than enough out there that we shouldn't get the right result.
Looms, they have to kind of go for it, don't they? And maybe that will suit Wolves a little bit more than playing against Brentford last week, who were by nature a little bit deeper, a little bit more defensive. Southampton haven't won yet, so they've got to go for this, which might play into Wolves' hands.
Yeah, well, you say that, Mikey, but the spin side of it as well is they'll look at the matches that Wolves have played, obviously the scouting network that they have, to see how dominant that we have been with the ball, how many chances we've created, and they might just think, you know what, we can pick little holes in behind when they throw men forward. So it's going to be a tactical affair. I would love it to see both teams just go hell for leather, go at it, that aggression, be competitive, win those balls, but it's the Premier League. The quality's better than that. The managers are better than that, and it's very much going to be a tactical affair, I feel.
Yeah, and listen, there's going to be pressure, isn't there, Tomo? There is pressure on both managers. There is pressure on the players. It's who handles that pressure better today.
Yeah, it is. So look, and I said this last week, that the longer you go without winning games, I know we've got that one game against Watford, but the longer you keep going on into those runs where you don't get the victories, and we said this at the beginning of the season about the way that they play, that we played some good football. We was able to create quite a lot, and sooner or later it takes its toll. And I'm just hoping that today, look, we're going to be careful. We're going to try and make sure that we don't lose the game or throw it away. But we say we do need those 3 points.
We certainly do. We will look at the team very shortly. It's Southampton against Wolves on the South Coast, and Gemma Frith has been down at pitch side, putting this game into context.
We are down on the South Coast this afternoon for Southampton v Wolves at St Mary's, a stadium that has given us some thrilling wins over the past few seasons. Our 3-2 comeback victory here in 2020 was one not to forget, with goals from Pedro Neto and Raul Jimenez. And of course, how could we forget Pedro Neto's wonder goal that won us the game on our visit here last season too? No Pedro Neto, of course, this afternoon as he continues to recover from his knee injury, but with Daniel Podence and Leander Dendoncker both finding the net in midweek and both starting here today, then our travelling fans can still be treated to some goals on the South Coast this afternoon. Hee-Chan Hwang also makes his first start in the league this season as Adama Traore, Francisco Trincao and Ruben Neves are on the bench. This is the first time that Bruno Lage has made changes to his Premier League starting 11 since our opening game of the season, so he was clearly impressed with what he saw in the Carabao Cup midweek.
Should be an interesting game this afternoon. We'll talk more about it. We'll talk about Bruno Lage and the start he's made, and we'll also get Chris Awellamo's thoughts on what Raul Jimenez needs to do to start scoring some goals. But before we do that, let's look back at an action-packed Wednesday night cup tie against Spurs.
Just got to get that finer edges sorted.
Oh, and Ndombele getting the better of Cody, and Ndombele into the penalty area, back onto his right foot and slides it home underneath John Ruddy, and Spurs are in front. He's going to win it back again, but a heavy touch allows Skip to nip in there. And now Harry Kane through the middle. Harry Kane into the penalty area, and Harry Kane for 2-0. As quick as that. In comes the out-swinging delivery. It's headed goalwards and in! Leander Dendoncker gives Wolves a lifeline. Working it clear, Bolly's header. Hoover can't control. Cleared to the halfway line where Connor Cody will collect it. Now finding Bolly, who steps infield away from Brian. Hwang with a touch on. Hoover trying to drive in deep. Hoover getting the better of Sanchez. Low one in, and turned over the crossbar by Hwang. Wolves are appealing, they feel they should have a penalty. Dendoncker, Cody, Podence swarming round Peter Banks. It was a lovely touch by Hwang. Here's Dendoncker driving on. Daniel Podence, it's the penalty area. Daniel Podence makes it 2-2! Wolves are right back in this cup tie at Molineux. Winning possession back, driving forwards and scoring goals. That's the Wolves they've come to see. Daniel Podence, we talked him up before the game. He made no mistake. Cool, calm, collected, finding the bottom corner. It's Wolves 2, Spurs 2.
To still be involved in these competitions, you know, for squad.
Oh, loose one by Podence. Here's Harry Kane. Kane onto Dele Alli, low cross in. Brian is there. What a save by Ruddy. Kane trying to get to the follow-up. It's bouncing around the penalty area, and it's Kilman who puts his foot through it. What a night of football. Aston Villa have equalised at Chelsea. The youngster Cameron Archer with a goal. Son down the left-hand side for Spurs, level with the edge of the penalty area. Up against Hoover, crossing in, Harry Kane's header. Oh my word, John Ruddy has just pulled off something stunning. How has he kept this out? Now Traore lifting it on. Coutinho in the penalty area, trying to cross towards the far post. It comes back out to Neves. Neves trying to shoot, deflected, oh, hits the crossbar. And behind for a corner. Chan Hwang to strike it, and he just about squeezes it in. It's Kane to strike it, and he strikes it into the bottom corner. A couple of short steps and sends the keeper the wrong way. Long runner back to the edge of the box. Sergio Reguilon strikes it, sends Ruddy the wrong way, and it's 2-2 in the shootout. Galini waits on his line. Neves looks one way, oh, and hits it over. Brian against Ruddy, stepping up left-footed and finding the top corner. Ruddy gets right. Dendoncker against Galini. It's Dendoncker. Oh no, saved to keep Wolves in the League Cup. Højbjerg, Ruddy does save! Super stop from John Ruddy. A long pause. Cody steps up. Oh no, back off the crossbar. And Wolves are out. It's Tottenham who celebrate. Wolves missing their final 3 penalties of the shootout. Ruben Neves high and wide, Leander Dendoncker saved, and Connor Cody going for power through the middle, back off the crossbar. It's a cruel end to what was a wonderful League Cup tie. So some positives to take from Wednesday, but going out of the Cup, the 2 goal scorers from that game are in from the start today. Leander Dendoncker and Daniel Podence. Chan Hwang also starts in the Premier League for the first time. It means Ruben Neves, Adama Traore and Francisco Trincao all dropped to be amongst the substitutes bench. It is all about really trying to provide the ammunition to score goals and maybe to help out a certain Raul Jimenez, Chris Owellamo, who has been in this situation whereby people are starting now to say, is he going to be the same player? There's been everything there for me, barring that final finish. And we saw the frustration against Brentford last week when he threw the headband off for the last couple of minutes. He just needs to find the back of the net and he should be okay, right?
It's as simple as that, Mikey. I think all the other parts to his game, that aggression's there. He links up well, he brings other players in. He knows here at this football club he's going to get the service. The chances are going to come. It's just those that little sharpness, it's going to get better. It's been a long time out of football, but you know what? It's a mental thing now. So like you say, the headband comes off. He trains every day with it. He's used to what that is now. It's just about having a little bit of luck, a scrappy goal, whatever it may be, but as soon as he hits the net, he is that same player, because all the other attributes to his game, he's still hitting those levels. It's going to be a very interesting one. Confidence is massive. You feed off getting goals. You see how it lifts players. He's no different, and he's probably, there's no one that wants to score more than Jimenez himself. but he's got to relax. He's got to know what else he brings as well. That goal will come. So it's just about making sure the performance, he's ticking all the other boxes. The service he's going to get here, he will score goals.
Is there a way, in a funny way, Looms, where he's almost trying to be too precise? We watch these chances that he's having. He's trying to find the bottom corner or the top corner on all of them. Is it almost a case of he's almost got to get in his mindset, just hit the target, and one might find its way in?
Well, it's probably that there is too much time to think about these things. That, you know, he is a fantastic player. His movement, he's getting into those areas, he's getting the chances. So again, yeah, maybe trying to be too perfect in his positioning and his accuracy. Just hit the target. If the keeper pulls off a great save, then so be it. But again, little things like that, like the header at Leicester, where he goes up and he tries to put the power in it. All the power was in the ball anyway. These are things that will just come naturally. But if he wasn't getting on the end of them, we'd have some criticism there. But he's getting on the end of it. He's just got to be clinical now.
Because, Tomo, you look at some of these chances, and especially the header ones, that one against Watford and the one that's coming up in a moment against Brentford last week, where they're the kind of chances where it's very easy for people like me and those in the stands to sit here and say, well, if he just gets it on target, keeper's got no chance, really.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about, is making the keeper at least have a go for it. Just watching all these chances, what are just on the replay, and he's getting in there with his head. We always thought I was going to be a bit worried about it, but he's not. He's getting in there. If anything, he's probably headering the ball too clean. He hasn't really had a miss-hit, a shot or anything else. So, look, it might be one of those that gets him back into the scoring habit. But, look, he's just got to keep persevering with it. I know he's frustrated, but he's just got to keep playing and keep going and doing the right things.
Looms, how much of a difference will it be for him today, having Hwang and Prudence either side of him, rather than Traore and Trincao?
Now, there's no criticism towards Traore and Trincao here, but after the other night, you're looking at what is it we're doing very well. We're using the ball well. We're creating chances. We're not scoring goals. You know, Dendoncker and Prudence step up and hit the back of the net. So it was a natural thing. We were all in agreement, I believe, on Wednesday that they'll come into the team. Bruno Lage thinks the same. You can't, if you're struggling to score goals and you score 2 goals against Tottenham, and albeit in the cup, it was still a strong team. They have to start. And like you say, I was very impressed with Hee-chan Hwang as well. The other night, I thought he played through the centre. He showed football intelligence without the ball. He pressed well, but goals should be coming from everywhere. You know, from corner kicks, dead ball situations, defenders need to be stepping up. Although strikers, we do take it upon ourselves that we are the main men. We want to be the main men. We want to be at the front of all that. But he does need help. If we can get that early goal, then it's important then that he steps up and brings the goals as well.
Well, hopefully it is going to be Raul Jimenez's day. He has waited long enough, and hopefully Adama Traore coming off the bench could set him up in the manner they did here 2 years ago. We'll look back on the game here last season in a moment, but Bruno, of course, faced the media on Friday ahead of this one. Here's what he had to say.
Your team creates chances. Southampton were defensively solid against Manchester City. What kind of game are you expecting on Sunday?
Big game, because the way they are playing, they did well. So they are very solid, compact, and the way they press every time higher. So everyone helps together, short spaces to play. So in that way, they did very well. So they did very well against Newcastle. They did very well against Man City. The way they press and also the way they play.
He's looking quite serious there, Andy Thompson. He will know the situation his team are in. How do you assess the first couple of games in the Bruno era?
Well, what I've seen is that I've been impressed with the way that the press high up the field, the pace that they've been playing at, especially in those first 3 games. So, like the chances and opportunities created, you can't doubt that. The only thing that was missing from the first 3 games was goals. But you know as well as me, so if you're doing the right thing, if you're creating opportunities, you know sooner or later, if you keep doing the right things, that you're going to get the goals come. It's when they're not creating the opportunities would be a little bit of a concern for him. But he's just got to keep going. Just keep believing in what he's doing. The players believe in what he's doing. And I don't think they're going to be far wrong. If they keep doing things right, they'll do it right. So I think Jimenez, I know he's frustrated, but he's just a typical one of the players who's getting frustrated by it. But if he keeps just doing the right things, the opportunities will come for them.
That's the hardest thing for Bruno Lage and the staff, to actually say to the players, you know, that believe in what we're doing. You know, you're going out there, you're dominating games, you're creating a lot of chances, albeit that disappointment coming in after the game, thinking, oh, we've got 0 points after we performed. The players know themselves. So it's about making sure that, yeah, the confidence, believe in the process. And I feel that it's small margins in football, it's small margins in life, really. You know, but small margins that if one little thing, one little lapse of concentration, one little thing goes against you, it can mean that you don't get any points. But again, you have to still believe in the process, take that into the next match. But I guess from what we should learn from the other night is it's so important to start well. If we start well, we can maintain that. If we start slow, it takes a bit of time for us to get into a match. It might be 1 goal down, 2 goals down, but we have the quality. We have to start very, very well, and then we grow from there.
Well, in the game here last season, Wolves did start pretty slow and they had to come from behind, and they had to do so the year before as well. What have they got to do differently against this Southampton team? I was chatting to one of our colleagues here in the press box, Looms, who said that actually Southampton have played pretty well. They've just been a bit unfortunate not to have won yet. But Wolves know, as we take a look at the game from last season, that they are susceptible perhaps to the way Wolves play. Wolves know they can come back and get something from them.
Yeah, so I just think that they've got to be careful of their attacking players, haven't they? They've got to try and stop them from coming through as much as they are. They had a lot of the play in the first half, so both of the games that we watched, and you've just got to try and nullify that. You've got to try and take the game to Southampton a little bit. Just watching the replays, and here we did do a high press, but if you're doing the high press, you've got to win the ball, because it leaves you open for them to counter-attack against, which has happened.
Looms, what are you making of it? What have they got to do against this Southampton side, who will be desperate for the win?
Well, they are a threat. I think you have to be switched on defensively, but it's the simple things, go out, win that first tackle, make sure that you get those little passes in, the first header, put Southampton on the back foot under pressure as quickly as you can, because they have got quality, they have got pace in the team. So again, you can't go hell for leather. You have to have kind of one eye on that defensive side. But it's so important that it's the right decisions, Make sure that when it's on to pass forward, don't allow them, don't let them off. You go, put them to the sword. You make sure that you advance when you can, but it's important that you use the ball well. This side, it's a good footballing side, and as you've said already, they're quite happy with the performance levels, but the result, they believe that the win will come. It's not coming today. That's got to be in the mindset of the players. If Southampton get anything out of this match today, they have got to have went there and beyond. But I just feel that we've got to build on it. We've got to show reaction after the 2 disappointments of the Tottenham and the Brentford match. And I feel that the players themselves know that we're not a million miles away, and it will just click.
Tomo, how significant is it? We saw that goal here last year. Stuart Armstrong is injured, so not involved. And Danny Ings has obviously gone to Villa. So they were the 2 key players last year. So Wolves perhaps will look at it and go, well, we're clearly stronger than we were last season, though, of course, they don't have this man. And he played this key part to win the game.
Yeah, and that was the problem that we had. We had Armstrong and Redmond running from that midfield area that caused us a lot of problems in that first half. And that's the thing that you've got to make sure that you're covering. Even though when we're attacking, you've got to make sure that we set it right to cover these counter-attacks and make sure that we get those challenges in the ball. If not, we're set up right to nullify it, because that will be their threat again this afternoon, I think.
Right, prediction time. What are you saying, Tomo? Who's going to be the key man today?
Well, I know I said it last weekend, and I thought Jimenez was going to get off the mark. I think he's going to get off the mark today, and I'm going to go for 2-1.
2-1, and Raul Jimenez to get one of the goals. Chris Awelamo, what are you looking at? Who's going to be key for you today?
I have to agree with Tomo. You know, I think he puts himself under that pressure. He doesn't buckle under like Jimenez. I say 2-1 as well, but I'm going to go Jimenez both goals.
Jimenez both goals. Listen, let's hope so. Thank you very much. There'll be more from Looms at half-time and full-time on our Wolves radio chat. And, of course, you can listen to full live commentary from Tomo and myself on wolves.co.uk and via the Wolves app as well. Adama Traore to come off the bench and set up Raul Jimenez to end his drought. Let's hope so. Hopefully that Adama and Raul partnership can fire Wolves forward again.